Well, just when we thought the issue was over, unfortunately, the saga continued with the drywallers. We had the last group quit, and then we found another guy out of Missoula who was a contractor. But that has turned out to be disastrous in its own right. Uh, he said he could start this past Thursday at 10 a.m. and decided to show up somewhere around 2 o'clock in the afternoon with a helper who had no experience, put up a little bit of plastic in one room on the ceiling, and then left for the day. And then we've had just intermittent problems with them not showing up at all, saying they were going to be here, them coming up with excuses as to why they weren't. And then the final round was the other day. They said they were going to be here at 9 a.m., didn't show up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Said they worked about 3 hours. They did one entire room in plastic and put up one shoddy piece of sheetrock, which I'll show you here. The rule is when you're doing sheetrock is you start with the roof and work your way down. But this guy said, "Oh, we'll get some sheetrock in," and so they put this in. The corners are both there's a damaged corner down here, a damaged corner up there, and it's not even to the wall, so that has going to have to come out. But that was the final straw after all of that, and so let the guy know that we are not going to be working with him anymore. We're not going to do that. And he proceeded to throw a hissy fit and threaten me with legal action and all this stuff for his inability to schedule and have the ability to do this job. So there we go again. We got another issue we're probably going to have to settle in the courts, but so be it. That's just the way it goes. The one thing, and I'm going to rant a little bit about this, the one complaint I have when it comes to dealing with contractors is that unlike the customer is always right, the contractors think that they rule the roost and they get to dictate to the homeowner or to the person that they're building for. And what irritates me about that is that they forget contractor know who writes the check and whose ultimate house this is. And that gets my dander up pretty quick. And it takes a lot to do that these days, but that did it. And when you try and threaten me with that, and because of your inability to actually perform your job and show up, I don't know how I was raised and how I worked my entire career is if I said I was going to start at 8, I was there at 7:30, and at 8 o'clock I was starting work, and I worked 8, 9, 10-hour day and to get my stuff done and didn't even take lunch breaks. But I guess that's a generational thing, or I don't know, an integrity thing. I have no idea, but I can tell you that there's no way in hell I would have handled a job like this. If I would, there's no way I would have made excuses after excuse after excuse after excuse and not shown up and not done the job. So that guy got rightly fired, and now we're on to contractor number 4. This is a pretty well-known sheetrock company here in the Valley. They came out yesterday evening and really did an evaluation on this. This is going to take some serious work to get this side of the roof done, and that's what we're going to concentrate on, is getting that done. So we'll stand by and see what happens with that tomorrow. Well, we are here with attempt number 4 to see if we can finish off the roof in here. I've got a 4 set of contractors in. You can tell they're already set up. They should be here in a little bit, next half hour or so, to start working, see if we can get that. What I appreciate about these guys is they've taken the time to try and figure this out and how they're going to achieve this angle and do these flats. And then have it end at the peaks down here. That's where some of the problem comes in. And I'm not sure if, again, the original truss guys that set these trusses definitely screwed up, but I'm not sure if it was how the trusses were manufactured is adding to some of this, or if it's just simply on Grizzly Construction and their bad work here. But we're going to see if we can get this sorted out, get this done, and get the ceiling done. That's what we decided we're going to concentrate on. Is just the ceiling, and then after that is done, we will have a discussion about walls and the rest of the house and different things like that. But for now, our focus is going to be on getting this roof done. I just got my fingers crossed that this works out. We've had nothing but trouble. This has been going on since middle of June, and here we are in August. It's almost September, and we're still honking with this roof. So we'll get at it and see what we can get done.
3/4 on the inside.
Well, I could, it looks like everything else planes out. This lid planes out all the way till this stud. And so that's why I was saying, is to make this a different ceiling. To just take 5-foot butts and boom, all the way down this thing and make a little 1 inch, it'll look nice too, a little 1 inch corner over the top. Like it's
I'm saying, you better die out on that other one, you're getting back that.
Like I said, this has been going on since June.
Holy.
I'm just, you know, I'm just taxed out from it all.
Yeah.
You know.
God, 3 days is enough of that.
Yeah, let alone 2.5 months.
I don't think so.
Well, you know, you have guys come in. The first guys came in. They hung up 2 sheets up here. They said, "Well, this is too jacked up," and quit. And they left the 2 sheets and they left. And then Josh came in. They you know fought well, they weren't here that much, but they fought this for like a day and a half and got frustrated with it, and then they quit. And you can tell where they got frustrated because they just threw it together.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's all gonna have to be fixed.
Yeah.
me and
No.
You're not?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
How far?
It's 12 inches.
Yes. Wait, come over? Yeah.
Well, we're here at day 2 of the new latest sheet rockers, and they managed to do quite a bit of work yesterday. Restored some faith based on the last 2 quitting and having to fire one, and all of the calls we've had to make to get somebody out here. It looks like we have found the right guys for the job, and they are pretty impressive with their skill. They managed to get these furrings that were here. Were not done exactly right, and so they're having to be moved in towards the centers more to create this line right here. And the guys already reset both sides of those, which is not really their job, but they are working to make sure that this comes out right. And they managed to get all this laid in, and you can tell their line here works out perfect on this side. We still have this one to go, this angle, and then that angle, and this part over here. But we have quite a bit going on to get this right, but they are making some pretty good progress. So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed, and we will just keep going and see how this works out.
It's gotta be tight right here.
It's tight right
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now let's get our rolled edge tight. How's the rolled edge? Okay, go.
That was a good moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that turned out, man.
Yeah, that's pretty slick, man.
It worked. Beautiful.
Cannonballs off of the boat. Yeah, man, push my damn joke. Misfit on all of my clothes. Rose out my mouth when I dance. At times you talk with her hands. Mama is always I'm gonna get in my face. You get my email address. Even. Take my fucking little work and it's right to the sea. I took a walk up the boat with my faith in the deep. I'm a little hood and she knows that I'm Christian. Once you played on me like me, made this image, I copied the king. Long the champion, give me a rep.
So here we are after 5 different contractors, 2 of which quit, 1 fixed the furring, and 1 got fired. And now our 5th group managed to get that entire side we were worried about completed. Altogether, it took them about 20 hours worth of work to readjust the furring and set the lines right here that they needed to with the hips the way they want to. It took them quite a bit, but I am ultra pleased with these guys. They have done a phenomenal job. As you can see, there's some really clean lines. Everything is stitched together really well, and they did an incredible job. I'm just really impressed. I mean, this has been going on since June, middle of June, when we first had our first issues with the drywall, all the way through. Like I said, we're on contractor number 5. We actually have gone through trying to get this done. We've contacted over 36 different contractors. And the big problem is with a lot of those guys is that, you know, they want to come in here, they want to just throw up sheetrock and be done. They don't want to deal with anything that's complicated because they feel like they're losing money. And so a lot of those contractors out of the 35 just didn't want to do it because it's too much work. They don't want to deal with vaulted ceilings and all of that. So anyway, we're back on track with that. I'm really stoked and happy with the way the work turned out. They did a great job, and they'll get to framing all this in with sheetrock as well as part of this to finish this off. But it's good work all in all. Pretty stoked with it. As an update on where we're at, contractor number 1, Grizzly Contracting, that set the trusses. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to end up having to go into a lawsuit with them. I can tell you that I've gone my entire life without ever having to sue anybody, and I really don't like the idea. I wish people would just honor their work, and we could come to an agreement without having to go to court or deal with lawyers or any of that. But that is the case with them. There was just too much work that had to be done to correct their mistake, and they have just ignored us and ghosted us. And so that looks like the route we're going to have to go. Contractor number 1, sorry, that did the sheetrock, they're out of the picture. They just quit. Same thing with number 2. He didn't do that great a job. He got the first side of this done. As you can see here, you can see where this work, our current contractor is going to fix all that. But luckily they are working with us, and they're going to give us back half our deposit back on that one. Contractor number 3 that did the furring, he did a good job. It just, they needed some tweaking and alignment, and really that required working with the sheetrockers that were going to do the work to get everything set and level and everything else. So he did a good job. I've got no complaints with him. The guy that we had to fire, unfortunately, that has melted into a complete mess. That guy is worthless, and I really don't mind suing him. Unfortunately, he is just, he's one of those workers that really, they want the money, but they don't want to show up. They don't want to show up on time. They don't want to do what they need to do. So he'll get what he gets in court, and we'll just have to deal with that. But these guys here are doing such an awesome job. I was going to continue doing the sheetrock, the rest of the house myself, but with as fast as they are, and with what we set on as far as price, I'm going to go ahead and let them just top out and do the rest of the house, hang it. That saves me a lot of time and energy and allows me to focus on some different projects. And they're doing great work. So that's one of the trade-offs we've got there, but I'm pretty happy with that.